Modern Doom loves to use demon progression to indicate difficulty. It can be seen with the imps you fight in the first arena evolving into gargoyles and then prowlers, and then by the end of the game, cursed prowlers. Or even with the Hell Knight becoming a Dread Knight or a Baron of Hell before reconverging as a Tyrant. Whether this is intentional game design or not, it's a pattern I've noticed back when the game released. So using that demon evolution mindset, I've decided to put forward a final evolution for demons in Doom Eternal. The name is FooSarr, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be tackling one of my first concepts that I originally uploaded on the channel back in 2021. Since the concept is about to have significant relevance moving into the latter half of my Doom FooCept series, I felt now was a time better than ever to remake it, give it a fresh coat of paint, and put forward everything I've learned since 2021. Allow me to introduce to you the new and improved Eternal Demons. The Eternal Demons are the apex of demonic evolution and alteration, a byproduct of advanced Immorian engineering. They're created in the heart of Hell itself, using the most advanced technology, and were designed to defend Immora and inspire demons in combat. Rather than using black magic, the Eternal Demons use Immorian tech to gain an upper hand in combat and keep themselves alive by any means necessary. See, each Eternal Demon has a set of Immorian armour. This armour has regenerative properties that restore lost health back to the demon when unarmoured. Speaking of which, the biggest flaw in the armour is the weak points. They're big, sometimes numerous, and cause the armor to shatter like glass for a few seconds. They'll need to be destroyed in quick succession, but after doing so, a failsafe will activate. After destroying an Eternal Demon's armor, they'll become empowered, as if possessed by a spirit, making them really tough to take down. This effect only lasts a short time, however. To make matters worse, once the armor regenerates, the demon will regain 50% of any health it lost whilst it was unarmored. These demons are the apex of Hell's army and use every bit of Immorian technology they can to give them the upper hand in combat. If you ask me, I think the Dark Lord probably should have sent these guys out instead of those two titans who just ignore you, but I'll keep my gripes about Immora for another video, so make sure you're subscribed. Going back about 4 years ago, I shared my concept for Eternal Demons. Since then, I've had a lot of practice making concepts for Doom Eternal, and I've received feedback from viewers, major community figures, and even some developers at id Software as well. So I just wanted to thank all of you for the wisdom and insight that you've given me. All this to say, I've decided to go back to this idea of Eternal Demons and make it something truly unique and something that I'm proud of myself. Starting with the Eternal Baron, this demon would be a formidable guardian of Immora. In the arena, its main goal is to be a tank, and you'll primarily notice this in the unique way that they behave. Unlike the Baron of Hell, the Eternal Baron will deliberately move in the way of explosives and completely negate any attempt to use the BFG by redirecting the blast elsewhere. As explained earlier, the Eternal Baron will inspire, or in other words, act as a living buff totem for only the nearby demons, and only while the armor is active as well. Once breaking the armor, the Eternal Baron will act as if it were possessed by a spirit and become immune to staggering and attack much faster. Fortunately, the Eternal Baron is the most forgiving when it comes to weak points, as they are located on both shoulders, its chest, and even its entire backplate. You only need to break 2 of these weak points in a period of 7 to 10 seconds to disable the armor temporarily. Just keep in mind, if you don't defeat the demon before the armor regenerates, the demon will regain 50% of all of the health that it lost. The Eternal Baron will be an extremely hostile unit, rightfully earning a place above super heavy demon tier. In the arena, the Eternal Baron will not only act as a damage sponge for other demons, but keep you from completing arenas quickly. They are able to use a rocket dash to intercept your attacks or to catch up to you. Getting hit by this rocket dash will knock back the Slayer a considerable distance and deal moderate damage. Similarly, they will have a rocket fist attack as well. This will see the demon charge up a punch for a few seconds before closing into your location. Once set, they cannot steer course and redirect. If you are hit by this attack, the Slayer will be knocked back and lose all of their dash charges instantly, putting it on a cooldown for a few seconds. Now, the Eternal Baron has two unique attacks, only seen in one of its phases. In the armored phase, the Baron will be able to perform a Super Slam, which will create a large shockwave across the entire arena. Then, in the unarmored phase, the Baron will leak hazardous goo that will poison the Slayer. This is more of an ambient trap rather than an attack, but it will create further pressure and add to the difficulty of this demon. Ultimately, the Eternal Baron is just a variant of the regular Baron of Hell and has the same amount of health. So all the same strategies you would use for the Baron of Hell, you could use for the Eternal Baron, but once the armor is broken. Where they differ greatly is with the advent of the Immorian armor and a few new caveats that come with it. Much like the Nightmare Demon concept I released not too long ago, any demon can be eternal, as the eternal status is not exclusive and can be adapted to any demon, as it's just a demon variant. Speaking of Eternal Demon variants, let me introduce to you the Eternal Mancubus, a walking sentry set on destroying any invaders that seek to harm Immora. Anyway, the Eternal Mancubus is a walking fortress, with 4 mounted arm cannons primed to wreak havoc on the battlefield. Their primary goal is to support other demons and remain in the backlines, like an artillery unit. Each arm cannon has an elemental affinity representing fire, frost, electricity, and acid. The demon's weak points are each of the arm cannons, quite the same to the regular Mancubus in that regard. Unlike the Eternal Baron, you will need to destroy all of the arm cannons before the armor is removed, so this demon is slightly harder to defeat in that regard. Now, unlike other Mancubi in Doom Eternal, the Eternal Mancubus will be able to charge their attacks, and when released, there will be a lingering attack. Or it may instead decide to use rapid fire, which will do reduced damage but have a greater chance to hit the Slayer. Each cannon arm will aim independently, and as such, 2 arms could be charging up for a lingering blast while the other 2 are rapidly gunning you down. Another aspect to the Eternal Mancubus is that it has total immunity to damage from its backside. And as we know from the Eternal Demon overview, all demons clad in Immorian armor take 85% less damage overall as well. This is not a demon you want to be charging headfirst into, and you should exercise caution when approaching the Eternal Mancubus. While they fortunately can't move very easily because of all that armor and weight, all it would take is one really good vantage point in the arena to ruin your day. Once you successfully break all 4 arm cannons within a short amount of time, the Eternal Mancubus will become empowered, as if a spirit possessed it. But unique to the Mancubus is that it will become agile and actively hunt down the Slayer by using its now broken gun arms as rockets to propel itself through the arena. Being hit by a Mancubus traveling at rapid speeds will nearly be fatal, so it's important to keep agile yourself too. Fortunately, the Eternal Mancubus loses any elemental affinity when it's in the unarmored phase, but the cannons, they still work. Ultimately, the Eternal Mancubus is like having 2 Mancubi stuck together, working independently, and when you break their arms, they turn into a rocket-fueled nightmare for around 15 seconds or so while you frantically avoid getting hit and try to hit it. It's tough, but once that armor is back on, they become nearly immobile. So a smart Slayer will use that opportunity to move the Mancubus into a more advantageous position for themselves. It's the player's goal to work around this demon and its limitations to gain the upper hand in combat. And I think by the point that an Eternal Mancubus would appear, a Slayer should be smart enough to figure it out. At long last, the Eternal Archvile, a terrifying black mage that breaks the souls of those who harm Immora and its people. This Eternal Demon will be the most unique, and while Eternal Demons are just a variant of a regular demon, this one will have exclusive properties, so listen up. The Eternal Archvile will feature no weak points on its armor, and instead will have its armor weakened by summoned demons being defeated. You see, once an Eternal Archvile enters the arena, they will create phantoms, kind of like what the Dark Lord did in the later phases of that fight. Defeating 15 of these phantoms will break the Eternal Archvile's armor and allow it to be damaged. Prior to this, the demon will be immune to anything, any form of damage. Nothing will harm it. Furthermore, the Eternal Archvile is a living buff totem, much like its regular counterpart. This means that even once the armor is broken, all of the demons in that arena will be buffed. Unlike the regular Archvile, however, it will send out slow-moving orbs that grow in size and power the longer that they are active. You can destroy these with any attack, but over time they will multiply, and being hit by them will do moderate to very severe damage if left unchecked. It's a small aspect to the demon, but one that adds further pressure to the fight. After defeating 15 summoned phantoms, the Eternal Archvile will spawn 2 Warlock demons, which I featured on the channel a little while ago now. These Warlock demons will follow the Eternal Archvile and attempt to defend it while it's unarmored. After the armor regenerates, they fade away, so it's up to you to decide if they're worth defeating or not. While unarmored, the Eternal Archvile will become extremely aggressive, far more than you'd ever expect from this demon. Instead of teleporting away, it will teleport towards you in a flame dash that sees the demon travel in a fiery blink bolt, following a Z-like pattern to get behind you and try and get in a sneaky melee hit from behind as well. They'll also be able to raise the ground around them, creating a wall of stone that will rapidly heat up, which will send out molten shards across the arena and completely protect them while the stone wall is active. Getting too close with a shotgun might not be a good idea either, as the Eternal Archvile will be able to create a flame tornado that will send you flying back, similarly to the Mancubus. Look, they just like their personal space. If you do manage to stay close enough to the demon without getting sent back, the demon will punish you further by using its life hunt claws to steal 30% of your health and restore it back to itself. This is on top of the Immorian armor restoring 50% of the damage it takes. So yeah, this Eternal Demon is a real pain in the ass. Fortunately, the Eternal Archvile will have the longest window of armor regeneration out of the 3 I've shared in this video, so there is some room for error. Ultimately, it's an Archvile with a few new tricks up its sleeves. They're already tricky to kill, so I didn't think anything more would be all too necessary. If you want to look into this concept more, please check out the pinned comment. I've hidden a few extra details in there for you to discover about this concept, and even a bit of background and some of my thoughts regarding the concept too over the years. There's even more on my website. Yeah, they'll be linked somewhere as well. So that about does it for Eternal Demons. If you've watched all the way through and thought of some other Eternal Demons that could be really cool, please share them in the comments below, and the best of your ideas will be put onto the Eternal Demons page on my website for everyone to see. I look forward to reading them. It's great to be able to make videos again and finally wrap up these concepts I've been tinkering away with since 2021. I'm probably the only person on YouTube still talking about Doom Eternal, so it means a lot to me that you made it all the way to the end of this video. Anyway, the name's FooSarr, and this was my second attempt at making Eternal Demons. I've got 5 more concepts to share with you before the Doom Eternal FooCept series concludes, so strap in because it's going to get crazy. Thank you for watching, always remember to stay creative and be unique.